Hi, Bobbie Thomson here with Crochet Guru, and today I'm going to show you how to crochet this dog sweater. The materials I used for this pattern: worsted weight yarn, and I used Red Heart Super Saver yarn in colors black and bright yellow. You will also need a size I9 crochet hook, a yarn needle, and some measuring tape to measure your dog. Now you can find my written instructions for this pattern on my website at crochetguru.com, and there will also be a link to this pattern in the description box below. Before I get started, I wanted to show you a picture of the wings that I made for my dog to match this sweater. And if you're interested in learning how to make a pair of these wings for your dog, let me know, and if I get enough viewers telling me they're interested, then I will go ahead and do a video tutorial on these as well. Now, when I originally wrote this pattern, I created it for my long, medium-sized dog, and throughout this video I'm going to show you how I measure my dog so that you will know how to measure your own dog. This way you can adjust this pattern to fit your dog's unique size. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to measure your dog's neck, and then we're going to crochet the collar. So when I wrap the measuring tape around my dog's neck, the measurement I get is about 10.5 to 11 inches around. So after taking her measurements, I now know that I'm going to make her collar about 11 inches long. So just remember to adjust the collar to fit your dog's measurements. Starting with the foundation chain and using the color black, we're going to chain 6. And just so you know, the chain 6 is going to be for the width of the collar and not the length. Using the color black, the first thing we're going to do is make our slip knot. And now we're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And remember, this is going to be for the width, not the length. Now, if your dog has a shorter neck, you'll probably need to remove a chain or two. And if your dog has a longer neck, then you might want to add a few more chains. And I will leave that up to your discretion. Moving on to row 1, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and then in the remaining 4 chains. And this will leave us with 5 single crochets. Starting on row 1, insert your hook into the second chain from your hook and make your first single crochet by yarning over the hook, pulling the yarn through the chain, yarning over the hook again, and then pull that yarn through both loops on your hook. Now go ahead and place a single crochet into the remaining 4 chains, and this will leave us with a total of 5 single crochets. So there's 2 single crochet, 3, 4, and 5. Moving on to row 2 through 42, we're going to chain 1, single crochet in each single crochet across. And remember, this is where you will use your first measurement of your dog's neck. And just remember to add more rows for a bigger dog and subtract rows for a smaller dog. The first thing we're going to do is chain 1 and then turn our work around. And then we're going to single crochet in each single crochet across. Insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over the hook, pull the yarn through the stitch, yarn over again and pull the yarn through the 2 loops on your hook. Continue to place a single crochet into the remaining 4 chains. So there's 2 single crochet, 3, 4, and there's 5. The rest of these rows are going to be crocheted the same way, so I'm going to show you one more row and then let you finish the rest on your own. So again, we're going to chain 1 and then turn our work around and then work 5 single crochets into this next row. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now if you're following along, you might want to pause the video now, and then when you get finished with the collar, I will meet you back here and show you what I do next. When you finish the collar, make sure it's the right size by measuring it with your measuring tape. When you're done measuring, it's usually best to fit the collar to your dog. This way, if you need to add a few more rows or subtract some rows, then you can do that now. After you fit the collar to your dog's neck, we're going to fasten off the collar by leaving an 8 to 12 inch tail for weaving. Then we're going to whip stitch both sides of the collar together by using a yarn needle and then weave those loose yarn ends in. To fasten off, go ahead and cut the yarn by leaving an 8 to 12 inch tail. Now pull the tail through the last loop with your hook. Thread your tail end through a yarn needle, and then bring both sides of the collar together. And what we're going to do is we're going to whip stitch through the first and last stitches of the collar. And we're just going to weave in and out. So just weave in and out of those first and last stitches. And this is called a whip stitch. And we're going to whip stitch this collar together. And after we're done whip stitching this part of the collar together, go ahead and take your other tail end from the other side and whip stitch that into the collar as well. When you're done whip stitching both tail ends in, go ahead and cut those tail ends off and make sure your collar's secure. And that's it for the collar. Now you will need to measure your dog's forechest and chest to make the upper body section of the sweater. The next step is to measure your dog's forechest, and this is the distance from the collar to the middle section of the dog's front legs. Now my dog's forechest is 4 inches. After you measure your dog's forechest, measure your dog's chest, and this is located on the upper part of the body right behind the dog's front legs. My dog's chest is 16 inches. By taking my dog's forechest measurement, I now know that I need to make the upper body section of my dog sweater about 4 inches long. And remember, this also includes the collar that we have already crocheted. And by taking the chest measurement, I now know that I need to increase the sweater's width to about 16 inches around. Now your dog will be different, so just remember to adjust the pattern again for your dog. Now I realize that I'm going over the measurements quickly, so if you're still confused about how to measure your dog for this pattern, go to my website and I have some really great and helpful resources there on measuring dogs for crochet patterns. And remember that link is in the description box below. Starting on the upper body, for round 1 we're going to attach color B, and this is yellow, to any single crochet space along the edge of the collar, and we're going to single crochet in each single crochet around for a total of 42 single crochets. Okay, so go ahead and make your slip knot with the color yellow. And now we're going to attach it to any single crochet space along the long edge of the collar. To attach the new color, insert your hook into a single crochet stitch, yarn over the hook, and pull the yarn through both the stitch and the slip knot, and then tighten that into place. Now we're going to single crochet around the entire collar, and while I do this, I'm going to crochet over the loose yarn end while I work. There's 1, 2 single crochet, 3, 4, 5, 6. So instead of counting every single crochet around the collar, I'm going to let you finish up this row on your own. And if you're following this pattern exactly, you should end up with 42 single crochets around. Okay, for round 2 we're going to single crochet into the next 2 single crochets, and then we're going to place 2 single crochets into the next single crochet, and we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around for a total of 56 single crochets. Before we get started on this round, if it helps, you might want to grab a stitch marker or cut off a strand of another color of yarn to keep your place, but this is optional. Now we're going to place 1 single crochet into the next 2 single crochets. So there's 1 single crochet, and there's 2. Now in the third stitch we're going to place 2 single crochets. So there's 1 single crochet. In the exact same stitch we're going to place 1 more single crochet. Now we're going to continue following this pattern all the way around. So there's 1 single crochet and 2. Now in the next stitch we're going to place 2 single crochets again. So there's 1, and then the same stitch we're going to place 2. So again there's 1 stitch, and then another stitch, and then 2 stitches, and the next single crochet. So again there's 1 and 2, and then 2 stitches in the next single crochet again. So continue to follow this pattern, and I will meet you back here for rounds 3 and 4. For rounds 3 and 4 we're going to single crochet in each single crochet around. So the next 2 rounds will be really easy. All we're going to do is just single crochet around. So insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and then yarn over again and pull through both loops on your hook. And there's your first single crochet, and that's all we're going to do for rounds 3 and 4. Okay, so I'm going to speed up the track on round 3, and I'm going to quickly finish this round, and I'm going to let you finish up round 4 on your own since it's just exactly the same thing. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 4 on your own, and I will meet you back here for round 5. In round 5, we're going to attach color A and then single crochet in each single crochet around for a total of 56 single crochets. Okay, so we're going to attach the color black just like we attached the last color yellow. Just make sure to attach it where you left off in the last round. Now we're going to single crochet in every stitch around. Now make sure when you single crochet in each of these stitches that you're weaving over the loose ends. So there's 1 single crochet, and there's 2. Now instead of counting, I'm just going to crochet this first round. Just make sure you crochet over those loose ends. And this round is very, very simple. Just single crochet in each stitch around. Now I'm going to speed up the track, and I'm going to meet you back here for round 6 through 8. Round 6 through 8, we're going to single crochet in each single crochet around. So the next 3 rows are again very easy to do. So we're just going to single crochet in each single crochet around for all 3 rows. So again, we're going to single crochet, and that's 2 single crochet, and that's 3 and 4. So instead of me counting this round with you, I'm going to let you finish the rest of this round along with round 7 and 8, and then I'll meet you back here to show you what I do next. When you get finished with rounds 6 through 8, we're going to slip stitch into the next single crochet and fasten off. To fasten off, slip stitch into the next stitch by inserting your hook into the stitch, yarning over the hook, pull the yarn through the stitch and the loop on your hook. Take your scissors and cut the strand of yarn, leaving about 4 inches of yarn left for weaving in. And then pull the cut strand of yarn through the loop on your hook and pull it tightly to fasten it off. Now that we're done with the upper body part of the sweater, make sure it's the correct length by first measuring your sweater. And remember, this measurement should be the same measurement as your dog's forechest. Now my dog's forechest is again 4 inches long, and that's how long I want my sweater's measurement to be. Now we're going to measure the width of the sweater, and remember my dog was 16 inches around, so when I flatten the sweater and measure the width, it should be 8 inches across, which would then make it 16 inches around. Now if you're still not sure by the measurements, try the sweater on your dog to make sure you have the right fit. Now we'll be crocheting the middle back and leg holes of the dog sweater. Measure your dog over its back from front leg to front leg, and this will determine how wide the back portion of the sweater will be. My dog's measurement is 11 inches. Now measure your dog's middle back lengthwise to decide how long you want the middle back portion of the sweater to be. This will also determine how much space your dog's legs will have as well. Now when I measure this area, I measure down from the upper body part of the sweater. The middle back measurement for my dog is 3 inches. For the middle back portion of the sweater, we'll now be working in rows. So for row 9, we're going to attach color B into the slip stitch that we just made. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 37 single crochets. Going back to the color yellow and starting out with a slip knot, I'm going to attach this color into the last slip stitch I just made. So pull the slip knot through the stitch, yarn over and pull the yarn through the slip knot. Now instead of crocheting around the entire sweater, we're only going to single crochet into the next 37 single crochets. And as you work, remember to crochet around the loose yarn strands as well. So there's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Now I'm going to speed up the track to do the last 30 stitches. Moving on to rows 10 through 12, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and then single crochet in each single crochet across. Because the next 3 rows are the same, I'm just going to go over row 10 and let you do row 11 and 12 on your own. So the first thing we're going to do is chain 1, and then we're going to turn our work around. We're going to work in the opposite direction, and we're going to single crochet into the next 37 single crochets, just like we did on the previous row. So now I'm going to speed up the track and finish up this row, and I'm going to let you finish rows 11 and 12 on your own. For row 13, attach color A, chain 1, turn work, and then single crochet in each single crochet across for a total of 37 single crochets. Now for most of this pattern, I've been fastening off each row and attaching the new color, and you can keep doing this if you feel more comfortable with it. But now I'm going to show you an easier way to attach the new color, and it works just as well. To do this, we're going to end on row 12 by starting the last single crochet. So insert your hook into the stitch, pull the yarn through the stitch, and you'll have 2 loops on your hook. Now instead of finishing this single crochet, we're going to take the new color, fold the yarn strand in half, and place the fold on your hook. Now pull the new color through the 2 loops that were left on your hook. Now tighten that yarn strand in place. Now chain 1. After you chain 1, take your scissors and cut the last color, which was the yellow, and remember to leave a few inches for weaving. Again, this row will be really easy, and it will be just like the last row. So turn your work around and remember to crochet over your loose strands of yarn as you work. So there's 1 single crochet, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4, 5. Now again, this row is going to be just like the last row. So I'm going to let you finish this row on your own, and I will meet you back here for rows 14 through 16. Rows 14 through 16, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, single crochet in each single crochet across. So again, we're going to chain 1, then we're going to turn our work around just like we did last time, and we're going to single crochet in each single crochet across. So again, instead of counting every single stitch with you, and because all of these rows are stitched the same way, I'm going to let you finish this row along with rows 15 and 16, and I'll meet you back here for row 17. Row 17, we're going to attach color B, chain 1, turn our work, and then single crochet in each single crochet across. And now we're going to attach the new color the same way we did last time by inserting the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull the yarn through the stitch, and then leave the 2 loops on your hook. Fold the new color of yarn in half and place the fold on your hook. Now pull the new color through the 2 loops that were left on your hook. And tighten that new color into place by pulling on both the yellow strand of yarn and the black strand. Now chain 1. Now turn your work around and remember to grab your scissors and cut the last strand of yarn that we were just using. Leave about 3 to 4 inches so that we can weave over those tail ends. And again on row 17, we're going to single crochet in each of the next 37 single crochets. So I'm going to do a few more single crochets with you, and then I'm going to move on to rows 18 through 20. Rows 18 through 20, we're going to chain 1, turn our work around, and then single crochet in each single crochet across. So again, the next 3 rows are repeating what we have already done. And again, we're going to chain 1, turn our work around, and then single crochet in each of the next 37 single crochets across. I'm going to crochet a few stitches, and then I'm going to let you finish rows 19 through 20. To finish off the middle back part of the sweater, we're going to fasten off and then weave the loose yarn strand into the sweater with the yarn needle. To fasten off, grab your scissors and cut the yarn, leaving about 4 inches for weaving. Pull the cut strand of yarn through the loop on your hook and then pull the yarn tightly. Thread the yarn through a yarn needle and then weave the cut strand of yarn into the sweater stitches. When you're done weaving, cut the remaining yarn strand off. We will now be working on the sweater's leg holes and stomach, and for the important note, we will be working on top of the 8th round and on the 9th row. So starting on row 9, we're going to skip 5 single crochets, attach color B into the 6th single crochet, and work a single crochet in the same space. And then we're going to single crochet into the next 7 single crochets for a total of 8 single crochets. Now that we've finished with the back of the sweater, flip the sweater around to crochet the stomach section of the sweater. Now remember, the 8th round was the last round we crocheted on the upper body, so it would start right here. After you make your slip knot with the new color, skip 5 stitches on round 8. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then insert your hook into the 6th single crochet. Attach the new color by pulling the slip knot through the stitch, yarn over the hook, and pull the yarn through the slip knot. Now we will single crochet into the same space that we attached the slip knot. Now we'll single crochet into the next 7 single crochets. So there's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that should be a total of 8 single crochets. Now I will have 5 single crochets that I will not be crocheting into. And if you haven't already guessed it, these will be the spaces for your dog's leg holes. Moving on to rows 10 through 12, we're going to chain 1, turn our work around, and then single crochet into the next 8 single crochets. Again, rows 10 through 12 will be the same thing. So I'm just going to go over row 10 with you, and that you crochet rows 11 and 12 on your own. So again, we're going to chain 1, we're going to turn our work around and work on the opposite side, and then we're going to single crochet in every single crochet across. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to let you crochet rows 11 and 12. For row 13, we're going to attach color A, chain 1, turn our work, and then single crochet in each single crochet across. This time I'm going to attach my new color by not finishing my last single crochet on row 12, just like I did before. So now fold the new color in half and insert the new color through the 2 loops on your hook and chain 1. Cut the last color by leaving a 4-inch tail, and also remember to cut any loose strands that have already been crocheted around. Again, crochet in each single crochet across for a total of 8 single crochets. So go ahead and finish up this row, and I will meet you back here for rows 14 through 16. Rows 14 through 16, we're going to chain 1, turn work, and then single crochet in each single crochet across. I'm trying not to be too repetitive, so I'm only going to show you a little of row 14 and let you do 15 through 16 on your own. So again, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to turn our work around. We're going to single crochet in each of the 8 single crochets across. Now I'm going to let you finish row 15 through 16. Row 17, we're going to attach color B, chain 1, turn the work, and then single crochet in each single crochet across. So again, we're going to attach the new color the same way we did last time. Fold the new color in half and insert the new color through the 2 loops on your hook. And then chain 1. Now we're going to cut the last color by leaving a 4-inch tail, and then we'll turn our work around and single crochet in each of the next 8 single crochets. So there's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Rows 18 through 20, we're going to chain 1, turn work, single crochet in each single crochet across. So working on row 18, we're going to chain 1, and then turn our work around and work on the opposite side. And then we're going to single crochet in each single crochet across. Now because all of these rows are crocheted the same way, I don't want to be too repetitive, so I'm going to let you finish this row along with rows 19 and 20 on your own. So if you need to, go ahead and pause the video now and meet me back here and I'll show you what to do next. Now I realize that I'm moving fairly quickly through this pattern, and if you like this style of teaching, let me know, but if you would prefer me to go slower and work row by row with you, I would also love to know that as well. My goal is to make useful videos for you guys, so any feedback would be great to help me with this goal. So moving on, we're going to fasten off and weave in the loose end. To fasten off, go ahead and cut that yarn strand leaving about 4 inches, and then pull that tail end through the loop on your hook. Thread the yarn through a yarn needle, and weave that strand of yarn into the sweater stitches. Before I move on, I want to take a minute to show you the end results of the measurements I took before on my dog. So the middle back measurement ended up being 11 inches in width, and the middle back length ended up being 3 inches. Now that 3 inches is also the length of the leg holes as well. Again, if you're not sure about the measurements, now is a good time to try the sweater on your dog again. Now we will be crocheting the dog's lower torso section of the sweater. To measure your dog's lower torso, measure your dog from the collar of the sweater to the small of their back, and my dog's measurement is 10 inches. The reason we want this measurement is because we're going to start crocheting in rounds again, and we need to figure out how low we can crochet the sweater. Now we don't want to crochet this part of the sweater too low because your dog still needs room to use the bathroom, and we really don't want them soiling the sweaters we just made for them. For the lower torso, we will start working in rounds. For round 21, we're going to attach color A into the beginning stitch of the middle back. We're going to single crochet into the next 37 single crochets around. Then we'll be chaining 5 and then single crocheting into the next 8 single crochets. We'll be chaining 5 again, and then we'll slip stitch into the first single crochet that was made on round 21. Moving on to round 21, we're going to make a slip knot with the color black, and we're going to attach this slip knot into the beginning stitch of the middle back. To find the beginning stitch on the middle back, first find the stomach section of the sweater, and then move to the left to attach the slip knot into the beginning stitch. To attach the slip knot, insert your hook into the stitch and pull the slip knot through the stitch. Yarn over the hook and pull the yarn through the slip knot. Remember to crochet around the loose strand of yarn, and then single crochet into the same stitch as your slip knot. And now we'll single crochet into the next 36 single crochets around. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to speed up the track to finish these last 28 stitches. This will now be my last single crochet on top of the middle back on round 21, and you should have a total of 37 stitches across. Now we're going to chain 5. So there's 1 chain, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now locate the stomach section of the sweater and single crochet in each of those 8 single crochets across the stomach. So there's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're going to chain 5 again. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now locate the beginning single crochet stitch that we made and slip stitch into that single crochet stitch. For round 22, we're going to single crochet in each single crochet around and also in each chain space around for a total of 55 single crochets. Okay, so all we're doing for round 22 is just single crocheting in each single crochet around and also each chain around. So go ahead and start single crocheting. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and again we're just crocheting into the middle body portion of this sweater right now. So I'm going to speed up the track to finish up this middle body portion, and then I'll show you how to single crochet into the chains. Okay, so now we're going to single crochet into the chains. So there's 1 single crochet, find your next chain, and there's 2. Now we're going to have a total of 5 single crochets. So there's 3, 4, and then there should be 1 more chain to single crochet into, and there's 5. Okay, so again locate the stomach piece of the sweater, and then we're just going to go ahead and crochet into each of those single crochets, those 8 single crochets across. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 single crochets across. And again we're going to single crochet in each of the next 5 chains. So there's 1, locate the second chain, there's 2, 3, 4, and then into your last chain there's 5. And now we'll move on to the next round. Rounds 23 through 24 we're going to single crochet in each single crochet around. Okay, starting on round 23, we're going to single crochet in each single crochet around. So there's 1 single crochet, and there's 2, there's 3, 4, and 5. Now because round 23 and 24 are the same, and we're just basically single crocheting around the entire project, I'm going to let you finish rounds 23 and 24 on your own, and then I will meet you back here for round 25. Moving on to round 25, we're going to attach color B and single crochet in each single crochet around for a total of 55 single crochets. Now before I get going on round 25, first realize that we will be crocheting in rounds. So I will not be chaining as I move on to the next round. Now I'm going to show you how I usually start a new color by ending the stitch on round 24. So on the last stitch, do not finish the last single crochet. To do this, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, and pull the yarn through the stitch. Grab your new color, which will be yellow, and fold the new color in half. Place the folded yarn on the hook and pull the new color through the 2 loops on your hook. Now insert your hook into the next stitch and place a single crochet. And remember to crochet around your loose yarn ends. Now we're just going to single crochet in each single crochet across. So there's 2 single crochet, and there's 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and there's 8, 9, there's 10, 11. Now don't forget to cut the last color like I just did, but it doesn't really matter if you make your cut after you single crochet a few times. Okay, so I'm going to let you finish round 25, and I'll meet you back here for rounds 26 through 28. For rounds 26 through 28, we're just going to single crochet in each single crochet around. Starting on round 26, again we're just crocheting in rounds. So to start this round, all we need to do is just single crochet. So go ahead and place your single crochet into the next stitch, and remember all we're going to do is just single crochet around. Now I'm trying to show you each row and round so that you will not only understand what I'm doing, but so that you will also understand how to read patterns as well. Okay, so I'm going to let you finish up rounds 26 through 28, and I'll meet you back here for round 29. For round 29, we're going to attach color A, single crochet in each single crochet across for a total of 55 single crochets. Before I begin this round, I want to show you how this sweater is coming along and how it should be looking so far. So there's the back of the sweater and there's the front of the sweater. And as you can see, I have my 2 leg holes. Okay, so starting round 29, we're going to attach the new color. This time I'm going to show you an alternative way to attach a new color in the middle of a round. And this way is not really considered the correct way to change color, but some people prefer this way. So first we're going to cut the last color by leaving 4 to 5 inches of yarn. And now fasten that color off by pulling the yarn strand all the way through the loop on your hook. Now make a slip knot with the new color, which is black. Now insert your hook into the beginning stitch of round 29. Place the slip knot on your hook, pull the slip knot through the stitch, yarn over the hook, and pull the yarn through the slip knot. Now place a single crochet into the same stitch that you just attached the slip knot. So there's 1 single crochet plus the slip knot, and again we're just going to single crochet around this entire round. Now I'm going to go ahead and let you finish off round 29, and I'll meet you back here for rounds 30 through 32. Moving on to rounds 30 through 32, we're going to single crochet in each single crochet around. So again, we're just crocheting in rounds, so insert your hook into the next stitch and place your first single crochet. And then we're just going to single crochet in each stitch around. So without being too repetitive, I'm going to let you finish rounds 30 through 32, and then I'll meet you back here for round 33. Round 33, we're going to attach color B and single crochet in each single crochet around. So again, I'm going to attach the new color by not finishing off the last single crochet on round 32. So place the new folded color on your hook and pull that new color through the last 2 stitches on your hook. Now remember, we're not chaining 1, we're just going to insert our hook into the next stitch over, and then place that first single crochet into round 33. Again, we're just going to single crochet in each single crochet around. So again, finish this row and I will meet you back here for rounds 34 through 36. For rounds 34 through 36, we're just going to single crochet in each single crochet around. Okay, for rounds 34 through 36, we're just going to single crochet around, and I'm going to let you finish off this round along with 35 and 36, and then I'll meet you back here for row 37. Now is a good time to look at your sweater's measurements and make sure it's fitting your dog. Again, when I first measured my dog from the collar down to her lower torso, I measured 10 inches, and as you can see, my sweater is now 10 inches in length. We will now be crocheting the dog's hind end section of the sweater. To finish this sweater, we need to measure our dogs from the top of their collar to the top of their tail, and this will give us their hind end measurement. Now my dog's measurement is 13 inches, and that means that I will need to make my dog's sweater 3 more inches in length. We will now start crocheting in rows instead of rounds, because remember, your dog will need an opening in this area to use the bathroom. So for row 37, we're going to attach color A, and then single crochet into the next 37 single crochets. Again, on the last stitch on round 37, remember not to finish your last single crochet, because we'll be inserting the new color into this stitch. So insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over the hook, and pull the yarn through the stitch. Grab the new color and fold it in half, and place the fold on the hook. Pull the new color through the 2 loops on your hook, and then insert your hook into the next stitch to start your first single crochet on row 37. And now we're going to single crochet in each of the next 37 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now go ahead and finish off the next 33 single crochets, and I will meet you back here for rows 38 through 40. For rows 38 through 40, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and then single crochet in each single crochet across. Starting on row 38, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to turn our work around, and then we're going to single crochet in each of the next 37 single crochets across. So there's 3 single crochet, and there's 4. Now finish up rows 38 through 40, and I will meet you back here for row 41. Row 41, we're going to attach color B, chain 1, turn work, and then single crochet in each single crochet across for a total of 37 single crochet. Attach the new color the same way we did last time, and then chain 1. Cut the last color, leaving 4 to 5 inches. Turn your work around, and then remember to single crochet into the next 37 single crochets. So there's 1 single crochet, and there's 2, there's 3 single crochet, and there's 4. So now go ahead and finish off this row. Rows 42 through 44, chain 1, turn work, and then single crochet in each single crochet across. So again, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to turn our work around. And then again, we're just going to single crochet into the next 37 single crochets across. So go ahead and finish up this row along with rows 43 and 44. For row 45, we're going to attach color A, chain 1, turn work, and then single crochet in each single crochet across. Okay, so on the last few color changes, I have been going faster to spare you from the repetition, so I hope that's okay as I move on. So again, go ahead and make your color change. Chain 1, cut the last color leaving 4 to 5 inches, turn your work around to work on the opposite side, and then again we're just going to single crochet into the next 37 single crochets. So finish off those next 37 single crochets, and I will meet you back here for the next couple of rows. Rows 46 through 48, we're going to chain 1, turn our work around, and then single crochet in each single crochet across. Starting on row 46, we're going to chain 1, and then turn our work around to work on the opposite side, and then go ahead and single crochet in each of the next 37 single crochets. So again, finish this row along with 47 and 48. Now is a good time to go over the last measurement we took of our dog. So remember, the last measurement I took was 13 inches from the top of the collar to the top of my dog's tail. So the total measurement would be 13 inches long, but that just meant that I needed to crochet 3 more inches to cover my dog's hind end. And again, if you're confused by the measurements, try the sweater on your dog to make sure you're getting the correct fit. Moving on to the ruffle, first of all, we don't need to measure our dogs for the ruffle, and if your dog is a boy, you can leave the ruffle out or crochet a few straight rows instead. For the ruffle, we're going to chain 3, turn our work around, and then place 3 double crochets into each of the next 37 single crochets across. And if you're following this pattern, it will be a total of 111 double crochets. To start the ruffle, chain 3, so there's 1, 2, and 3, and then we want to turn our work around to work in the opposite direction. Now in this pattern, I'm not going to count my chain 3 as a double crochet. In some patterns that can happen, but in this pattern the chain will be separate. So in the first stitch, we're going to place 3 double crochets. So what we're going to do is yarn over the hook, place your hook into that first stitch, yarn over the hook again, and then pull through the stitch. There will now be 3 loops on your hook, so we're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook, and that's your first double crochet. Now we're going to place 2 more double crochets into that exact same stitch. So again, yarn over the hook and place the hook into the exact same stitch. Yarn over the hook again and pull the yarn through the stitch. There should now be 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. Now I'll start moving a little quicker. So now we're just going to place 1 more double crochet into that same stitch for a total of 3 double crochets. So there's your last double crochet, and again that should be 1 chain and 3 double crochets into that first stitch. Now I realize that black is a little harder to see on camera, so I'm hoping that my instructions will be clear enough to get you through this part of the sweater. So moving on to the second stitch, we're again going to place 3 more double crochets into that stitch. So place your first double crochet into the second stitch, so there's 1 double crochet, and then we're going to place 2 into that second stitch, so there's 2, and then we're going to place 3 into the second stitch, so there's 3 double crochets. Now we're going to continue placing 3 double crochets into each single crochet across. So again, there's 1, 2, and 3 double crochets all into the same stitch, and that should be your third stitch. I'm going to place 3 more into the 4th stitch. There's 1, 2, and 3 double crochets into that 4th stitch. We're just going to continue down and across this pattern. Now by crocheting the 3 double crochets into each stitch across, we're creating a ruffling effect. And now I'm going to let you finish off this ruffle, and I'll be back to show you how to fasten off this sweater. Now we're going to fasten off this sweater and weave in the loose yarn end. To finish off this sweater, cut the yarn leaving the strand about 5 inches long. Now pull the strand of yarn through the loop on your hook and weave the tail end through a yarn needle. Now weave that loose strand of yarn in and out of the sweater stitches, and I would weave it on the side of the sweater that won't be seen. Now that we're finished with the sweater, I wanted to show you a few pictures of what it looks like. And I also wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video.